So you want 2 different vices for your bench and you want them under 20 bucks each? Don't worry, I got you covered. Plus, I'm throwing in an extra bonus tip. Hello folks. Now last week, if you watched the show, you know that I built a beginner's woodworking bench. And on that bench, although there was room to add a vise, I showed you that you didn't exactly need one for that particular bench. However, just like any job, when you have the right tool for it, it makes things go easier and faster, and having a vise for your bench is no exception. However, buying a vise can be expensive. A used one can go for like around $50, where a brand new one can go up to several $100s. And if you just happen to be in that position right now where you just can't afford that, well, don't worry, I have two alternatives for you that will get you by. Now, the first one is probably something that you've seen lying around either your grandfather's house or at flea markets and garage sales. Even if you have to go out and buy one brand new, they're only like $20. And here it is. A wooden hand screw clamp. Now, I've used this on a job site many times in a pinch, and it works so well that I want to share it with you on how you can make this become a decent little vise for your bench. Here's the first example where the wooden hand screw clamp really comes in handy. So let's say that I have this piece of stock here, and I either want to drill in it or I want a mortise in it, and when I place it on the bench, I need to fasten it down. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. I want to make sure, especially if I'm going to mortise into this, I want it over the sturdiest part of the bench, which is the leg. If I place it out here where it cantilevers over, this is going to flex a little bit more. If it's over where the leg is, it's much more solid and sturdy. So what I've done was, on the other side of the clamp, I've drilled and put a couple of 3/4 inch dowel rods in it, which corresponds with the 3/4 inch holes that I have on the bench. So now I can place this in there. That's going to keep my clamp in place. And now, when I put the board in, it's going to hold that securely for me so I can either chisel or drill or whatever else I need. Now, let me show you another way that this works. Let's say that I need to cut this for some reason, or I have to drill this way. What I can do now is I have another set of holes out here, and I can place the clamp out here on the edge. Now I can hold the workpiece up, and it holds it firmly for me to either saw or drill or whatever I have to do. Which in this case, it's pretty firm, but if it's a little bit loose, I can just take another clamp and I can place it here, and that gives me more reinforcement to hold this in place. So that's one method of using this wooden hand screw clamp to give you 2 ways to do a vise. Now that I showed you how the wooden hand screw clamp could be used as a vise, getting these dowels in it lined up with the holes on the bench, well, that's crucial. So real quick, let me show you how I did that for a perfect fit. I'm going to begin by tapping a couple of nails here into the vise where I want the dowels to eventually be. Now, I don't seat them all the way, and then I'm going to cut the heads of the nails off. Don't do it flush. Leave about 1/8 to maybe 3/16 of the nail sticking out. The 2 nails now, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to have this rod here come up to about the leg, and I want this jaw to be flush with the bench. All right, so now push down, lift that up. Very nice. So I got a hole here and a hole there, so I'll just circle those. For the other one, I'm just going to simply move it back. Okay. Again, I have my 2 indentations, and that's where I will be drilling. Then remove the nails out of the clamp, and then that is also where we will be drilling our hole. So I've already drilled some holes into the clamp here, and they go down about 1 inch. I've already drilled this hole all the way through the bench, and I'm going to drill the last one here. And I've put some tape on this because I really only want to go as deep as the top. I don't want to go into this apron because there is a lag screw that comes through here, and I don't want to hit that. All right, I'll drill these other 2 holes back here, and then I'll put some dowel rods in that, and we'll see how it fits. So I've measured the depth of the holes, cut the dowel rods, and I'm putting those in. And I'll probably wind up gluing those at the end. And you know, you can take a little file to these holes so that they're slightly bigger than the dowels, but let's see how it fits here. Great, look at that. Got the front vise there, and then I can move it out, move it back here. Let's see. Great, and it's going to work there as well. So I mentioned that I had 2 ways that you could add a vise to your bench, and the second one is with this, a pipe clamp. Now I am a huge fan of these. I think they work fantastic. They're really reasonable, and depending on however long of a pipe you add to it, you can do pieces incredibly big. But also, you can add it to make your workbench even better. So let me show you. All right, here it is. Here is the pipe clamp. And the way this works is I can reach underneath here, and it's adjustable. And the way this is very beneficial is I can put my piece in here, put a bench dog in place, and then this will go in, tighten up, and it'll allow me to hold the board securely as I plane it. Now, I will say that as this tightens up, you'll see that this head of the clamp wants to rack a little. And so you can see as this tightens up, it's not going at an even rate. I'm not putting enough pressure on this. So what I'll do is I have a piece of wood that I've cut at a wedge shape. And what I'll do is I'll put this down in here, and I make sure that I'm getting equal pressure going across this, so it really holds my board nice and firm, perfect for planing. So let me show you now how I took this pipe clamp and made this tail vise. Here are the components that are going to make up the vise. I have the 4x4 block, which has 3/4 inch holes drilled through it, and a 1 inch hole. This will take the black pipe. Another scrap piece of wood. This was a 2x4 I cut down. Again, 3/4 inch holes. And these I reamed out a little bit bigger with the file so that the dowel actually can slide through it. And of course the 1 inch hole, which gives plenty of clearance for the black pipe. Some screws, which this will get fastened to the bottom of the bench top. The pipe clamp, to where I had to drill some holes through the ends of this in which screws will be attached. Of course, the black pipe and then the 3/4 inch dowel rods. Okay, let me show you how this is going to get assembled. So now I'll loosen it and take this section apart. And now this will get screwed to the bottom of the bench here. All right, now I have to slide this all together. Okay, after a few minutes of playing with it, I'm actually able to get it to work. So I want to make sure you get the most out of this video, and so I'm going to give you one extra little simple tip that helps you maximize your workbench. So the last thing I wanted to tell you was about drilling these holes on the bench. Now I said 3/4 inch because I wanted to put a 3/4 inch dowel rod into the hole. But if this is 3/4 inch and this is 3/4 inch, it's usually a really tight fit. So what I did was I got a drill bit that was a 25-30 second drill bit and drilled this out just a little bit larger to allow the dowel to slide in it. Now if you don't have a 25-30 second drill bit, you could get like a large rat tail file and you could work this around in there to make it to where the dowel rod will slide in it. Now the only problem with this is now that the dowel rod goes in with ease, if I don't get the board on that in time, let's say that I'm trying to do a couple things at once and I put the dowel in, well usually what happens is just that, it falls through the hole. So what I did was I made a bench dog out of one of the easiest things you probably have around. It is like a form of a paper clip. And so now I can put this in. It holds itself in place. I have a flat spot on it for my workpiece to go against. And it's perfect for this bench. And let me show you real quick how you can make that. You can buy these and you can get a set of 4 of them for around 50 bucks or probably for $1 at your local office supply store. You can pick these up, get a dowel rod, and make them for yourself. This is going to be my last tip for you for today. Well, I hope you enjoyed those tips on making your workbench more efficient. Now, they're no substitute for a high-quality vise, but they definitely will do the job. Now, a couple weeks ago, I did the top 10 essential woodworking tools, and these were rather pricey tools to buy. And if you're a beginner or if you're on a fixed budget, I have the top 10 essential woodworking tools under $100. And you'll be surprised that they can do the work that some of those big dollared ones are. So check that out next week. Now, you've been hearing me talk about the newsletter, and the new first issue of the newsletter is coming out February 5th. And for a limited time, only 2 months, I'm going to offer the plans to that workbench for free. So if you haven't signed up, click on the link below, get registered for the newsletter, get access to those plans, plus all kinds of woodworking articles and videos exclusively seen only for the subscribers. All right, as always, thank you so much for watching. My goal is to make you a better woodworker, and as always, keep on dancing.